All right, everybody, and welcome back to Vintage Story. This is episode 2, and where we just left off, we had, if I remember correctly, just done a tiny amount of exploring around our local area, mainly looking for cattails, of which we were unsuccessful. So, we do need to look for some cattail reeds, but perhaps more importantly, we need to get our pit kilns up. Specifically, we're looking to get 3 pit kilns going, and for that, we're going to need peat, we're going to need sticks, and we are going to need grass. So let's grab our peat first. We're going to need 20 peat because the larger storage vessels require 8 peat apiece. Meanwhile, our smaller pit kiln, which is going to consist of the bowls and the cooking pot, only needs 4 peat, so we'll need 20 total. And it looks like we have exactly 20. Okay, so now for grass, we are going to need 30 of this, and I'm going to just time lapse through this. So we will collect this grass, and I'll be right back. Alright, and I threw that extra piece away because it's just like I don't want to say OCD because, little moments like that are not true OCD moments, but it's just a preference to not have extra items lying around, especially right now in the early game where storage is scarce. Rift activity is very high, so of course we're going to see a rift. And we need 8, 16, 24 sticks. We're at 2. So this is going to take a hot minute. But that gives us an opportunity to talk about what else we have for goals for today in this episode. So I think the big thing outside of the cooking stuff is just get some preparation for food. And certainly we're going to want to build a little cattail farm because normally I don't do it, but we really don't have a lot of cattails close to us. And so I'm going to want to bring that supply nearby and probably focus on stocking up just because we're going to need quite a few once we get to bees and all that stuff. And I'd really like to build some more reed chests just as another option for storage because the storage vessels, while really good, right now are fairly expensive for us. You can see I'm just kind of running in and out of this rift here because it's inconveniently located, but that's okay as long as we're only there for a couple seconds. We are just plowing through this. I think we're going to do this tree because I do need and want extra sticks. I was going to say, it looked like there was something different there. Grab as many sticks as this allows us. And perfect. We can get on top here. It's going to give us a great view. Yeah, so we're still very much in a position where we're setting up the basic essentials. We don't have shelter. We have enough shelter, I should say, but we don't truly have a shelter. And I'm undecided about whether or not I want to take this ruin that we're in down and repurpose it into a home, or if I want to keep this ruin, salvage other ruins, and turn our current ruin into more of a home. The rock type does change here. I didn't see what it changed into, but see I have a ruin over here, and I think I have a ruin out this way as well somewhere that I haven't marked down yet. But they are a different rock type, so that's not going to help us. I don't see any more sandstone ruins right off the top of my head, so that may turn that plan into a dud. Alright, let's get these pit kilns online. I am going to want to grab maybe just 3 pieces of dirt, because I think the pit kilns are going to end up inside of our base. Let's see. Let's do one here. Do one here. Probably I was going to say, break 2 sandstone with this. Grab a slab. And I will do another one right down here. Perfect. So there is that all squared away. Let me just take a quick peek My apologies, my audio was just a bit loud, so I've turned that back down. Careless mistake. This YouTube thing, really, I mean, as you likely know, this is a brand new channel. Well, the channel's been around for a while, but me putting content in it is fairly new. I've had a tendency to do episode 1 videos and not get much further. So this episode 2 is really a milestone. And the reason I would say I'm here is because even though she doesn't like vintage story, and even though she doesn't really watch the videos, my girlfriend is incredibly supportive, is encouraging me to do this. And that is a wonderful thing to have, and I think it's really pushing me over the edge to keep making content. That, and oops, I didn't mean to do that. I am in a position where I have a fairly consistent schedule for when I can record, which is really nice. So we've got a fire starting. I can't tell if my bed's on fire, but out of an abundance of caution, let's break it. Dustin, oh, yeah, I was gonna say, did my bed go away, but I think it's in the clear. If we don't have a bed, we'll know. We are going to need a storage vessel more in the short term, and so for that reason, let's go work on doing that. This flint knife blade. We do know where some more cattails are, so we'll make our way that way. And we know that because of the map. That was also a mistake I made in the first episode. That first night, you really don't need to, / shouldn't sleep. I think there's a great argument for not sleeping the first night. I'm not really a fan of this area here. Oh, but I am a fan of all these berries I'm seeing. Where's that wolf? Over here. Should be secure grabbing these berries. That's good. Little oak tree, which is great. Oak is my favorite. No wolf over here that I can see. We're looking like we're in the clear for this area, which is good. So we're going to be grabbing the cattails, but I am going to be grabbing the cattail roots. This is going to take, as you can see, quite a bit of time. And I do think, just for the sake of me not trying to fill empty space and time with a monologue, and us being able to kind of move past this incredibly monotonous task, that I will time-lapse this as well. I am looking to incorporate time-lapses into some of the dead space and dead time, and also to just kind of not speed the series along, but add some quality of life functionality to the viewing experience. Although, by monologuing about the time-lapse, I may just make the point moot. I think it's something that any good series has, and the alternative to a time-lapse for things like this is to do some cutting. And the reason I don't want to cut is basically a way of holding myself accountable to cheating. Not that I am cheating or am going to cheat, but rather I just want to, A, show off the whole vintage story experience, even if that means I'm time-lapsing 3 hours of me quarrying into a single video. You know, I want to show that experience because that is the game, and I think it's important for when you're trying to learn the game, especially a game like this, that you're able to see it in all its glory, and how to do things and what the process is like as you're figuring out what you got yourself into. I'm not seeing any more cattails in this immediate vicinity, so I do think we'll head back and start our cattail farm. And if I'm not mistaken, cattail farm is something that we don't have to necessarily... Whoa! Whoa! This is an amazing find! We have native copper right next to our base. Oh, wonderful. I'm going to be entirely honest. I've gotten into the habit of panning for copper. 60 pieces of it to be exact. And I'm very excited that I will not be repeating that pattern in this world. Okay, so where do we want this farm? I want a... This is a terrible body of water to make a farm out of. There's the wolf over there, so we can't... There's this pond here. I mean, a single block of water could turn into a small farm. I might be able to get 2 farms out of that, but still not great. See what we're working with over here. This looks better. It's still deeper than what would be ideal, but it looks better. Maybe this one, I think, and we'll have to cut the train back, which means we're going to need flint, which we are actually lacking, so... But lots to do, lots to think about. The reason I'm looking for where we're setting up our farm proper is I basically want to know what's fair game for our cattail farm. And now that I think about it, what I can do is I've got this little pond over here that I'm not planning on using for anything really. And I think I will plant our cattails here. Put it into the water for authenticity's sake, even though it'll be a colossal pain to harvest. But there we go. This will start our cattail farm. Beautiful. I can't make another basket, unfortunately, so we'll have to be out on the hunt for some more. We also need to be on the hunt for some stone, some flint to be specific. Let's try to find some of that. So 1 flint, which I did get. No more flint over here. Ooh, I'm sorry about that. I hit my keyboard. No more flint over here. Probably flint over here somewhere. How do I... It's peridotite is how you pronounce it, but I first heard the stone pronounced in a Furzar video, and that's how he does it, as he recently said in episode 6 of Guide Series 2, is a bit of a troll at this point, but it's the way I know, unfortunately. So I will likely end up following in his footsteps inadvertently, just out of sheer habit at this point. Let's see. Grab some flint from over here as well, and I think that will be enough for now to get us started. Unfortunately, the flint looks very similar to the peridotite for that reason. I don't see that wolf. So that's not good. There's also more heat over here, which is great. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple shovels, and I want to start clearing the land back around that farm area, and hopefully that'll give us some medium fertility soil to actually make the farm, and then we'll also be able to put up a fence. So that's what I'm going for right now. We have some turnip and onion seeds. I'm going to grow that. I'll also grow our flax grain, although, because flax is the priority. Although I don't know how, so I'll hang you here. I don't know how much flax grain will actually grow because it's not my priority crop right now. Nearly got my unmonetized channel demonetized right there. Whoops. Alright, so this is medium fertility soil, which is great. So there's different fertility soils in the game, and it goes low fertility, medium fertility, high fertility, and then terra preta, which terra preta is a type of soil that's naturally found in the Amazon real world. And it is this incredible soil to work with, and so it is represented in game as such. It is kind of our miracle soil. So I'm going to double this up, and then we'll do that. Double this up, and perfect. I am going to need to cut this back just like over there. Let me do the same here. I did not double up here, so I am going to lose some efficiency on this, which is fine. I can double up for this one here and try to reclaim some of that. It's messy, but it'll be fine. Early game, before we have access to a bucket, farming can be difficult, but once we get a bucket, we can make a more ideal farm and a more ideal area, which will be really good. And this is most definitely just kind of us starting. So I will make this here, and I will double you out. We'll make farm here, double it out, perfect. Gives me, honestly, a good, reasonable sized farm, so I'm fairly happy with that to start out. And let's chop down these some of these maple trees, and we can get some fences up, which is great. You know, we're only a few minutes into the episode, although we are nearly through our day. But we're only a few minutes in, 10, 11 minutes or so. Well, actually, no. I had to stop the recording when I adjusted the audio. So we are a little further into the recording. How much? I don't quite know. I'm running with, we're about, well, it's 17 minutes in, but I'm not sure on the accuracy of it. Could be a little more, could be a little less. Grab just a little more maple here. Then we'll use that to make fences, if I remember how. I believe the recipe is this, with an X. This. We'll start with 32, but we'll need to get more logs after the fact, if we will. But we will need more logs for... Okay. So you're doing this. In here. That's in one too much. This. In this. That shows me this area is way too close. So I'm going to cut this back. And I will need more logs. I think we'll end up cutting 1 or 2 trees down. I did just see that we're really low on food, so I'm glad we have that stuff going, and once we get a cooking pot up, I'll feel a lot more comfortable about our food situation, as we're going to be able to cook some meals. What kind of meals, that remains to be seen. I don't like to do traps for rabbit pits. I think it's a little cheesy, but I am seriously debating it at the moment, just where we are kind of struggling for food, and I don't foresee us getting an easy solution to that. Let's see. I do need all of this to make so I'm out of sticks and I'm out of fences, but taking a look at this, I think we'll be fine. I'm going to throw a fence here. I think this is a fair place to throw a fence. And I'll throw a fence up here. Hey, did that wrong. Whoops. Perfect. With a few to spare. So let's take a look at our map real quick. See where we've sectioned off for our farm. We'll want to actually work on it. I do want to see if we can see any more cattails. We do have something up this way, and cranberries, which is good. So just a smidge more food for us. I also have a rift. It is still high rift activity, but I want to keep that in mind. Is this the pond I was looking at? No. it's up here, and not the most comfortable with us maybe doing some exploring right now. Well, it's high rift activity. We want to just see if I can sneak a peek of what's in here. Look at that. Okay. So that's what I had a feeling of. I felt like there may be more cattails that are just eluding us. So we'll have to go back tomorrow to grab these cattails. Oops. I don't think we're going to have enough time tonight, which is fine. We do have enough time tonight. No, we're not going to get a chance to do any. Ooh, hello. More turnips. That's great. I really did want turnip seeds, actually. I think turnips you have to grow early in the season because it does get too hot in the summer to grow your turnips. So I want to get those planted ASAP so that we're able to maximize the returns on that. I don't want to go for this tree right now. I do want to go back inside. Okay. So inside, everything is not burning and exploding, which is good for us. Let's see, put you in there. Get the turnip seeds in here, that's great. And then I want to take a moment to take a look at our map. Because we have a lot of stuff going on that I think we'd benefit from marking. So the first thing is I want to mark off home for us. And I want to keep this pinned at all times. I'm also, just for the sake of thoroughness, going to mark off our farm. And I am going to do that probably with this item here. This is what I'll go with. We have a trader here that we need to take a look at. He is white because I have not seen him yet. And I don't believe I stopped to see this trader either. I did grab you. I grabbed you. I did grab you as well. So that is all moot at this point. Quite the desert area. And now what I want to do is I want to go around and I want to add some other notable points of interest that we can see kind of right off the bat. First and foremost, I have peat galore. And so I'm going to mark the peat with this symbol here. I have a general code that I use. I would advise you in your world to get a code up and running. So I use this icon for clay and peat, and if you can't tell the difference between fire clay and blue clay, it is difficult to make out. You can see there's a bit of a reddish hue to this fire clay, and there's a blue grayish hue to this blue clay. So that is how you can tell the difference. But this, my good friends, is peat. So we're going to mark this peat off. I do have a ruin right here, and I actually don't have to type anything in. It'll auto-populate with the ruin switches. And see here, I've got a couple things of ruins. Do I have anything else? Nope. Here. I don't believe so. Take a look, because you never know. I'm not going to mark this stuff off way out here, because my odds of going out here for it are next to nothing, basically. That looks like it might be a ruin, but I'm not sure, so I won't mark it off, because, again, my odds of going out there just for it are pretty darn slim. This trader, on the other hand, get a drifter. We gotta be careful, because the drifters can hit us through these holes. I hope they can't get over. House is definitely something that leaves be desired, to say the least. See a whole lot out this way. A whole lot. Normally the map is a little more exciting, but we really don't have much of anything. There's an unknown fruit tree here. And you can tell because it's like this bright green star. And that tends to be indicative of a fruit tree. looks like there's one here as well. You hear the drifters are having a party outside. Okay, then it is party city time, I guess. We're out of sticks. I want to do some napping, but we're out of sticks. I don't really feel like we're on time. I think what I'm going to do, as much as I hate to do it, everybody, is I think I'm going to sleep. Because what I really want to do is collect those cattails and make another chest. That way we can clear our inventory a little bit, maybe collect some sticks, and work on gathering a spear. However, we are approaching probably the tail end of what this episode will be. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to sleep, we're going to run out and collect some cattails, time-lapse through all that, and then we'll come back home, clear our inventory, and our episode there. So with that being said, let us get to sleep. I want to wake up right around 5. And so in order to do that, I have to hit shift when the clock hits 2 or 3. So in just a few seconds here, the clock will hit 3:05, so I hit shift, and the game's going to wake me up at 5:30. Now, all I have to do is run away from the drifters, and they will despawn, which works out entirely in my favor, and not at all in their favor. I'm going to move my torch into my inventory just so I don't accidentally put it out, because that wouldn't be fun. And while we're over here, we are going to see if there are some berries we can scavenge. We can eat our turnips if need be, but I'd like to save our turnips to see if we could make some soup. I think the soup is a much better use for our turnips than just eating. Yes, I remembered there being berries. There's also a family of sheep, which will be great for hunting. Although, where we don't have a lot of animals in this area, outside of rabbits, it may be worth instead taking a look at seeing if we can trap them. And once we get copper, beelining some domestication. I see crops over there, but right now my priority is, in fact, these. So I'm going to collect all of these so that we can grow and expand our farm. And in the meantime, I will let you sit back and enjoy the timeline. Alright, so that is all of the cattails from this area. We got a whopping 37, which is terrific. So that is going to dramatically improve the little farm we had going. Speaking of, let's go take a look, and we may as well get all these planted over in that general area and grab berries while we're at it. Whoa. I cannot believe it. We found more native copper. That is wicked lucky that we have this much copper here. This must be I'd like to say it's a high copper area. That would be good. But who knows, quite honestly. Okay, you can see there's quite the storm going on over in this area. I'm gonna say, we're gonna have to do all this manually now. Alright, I'm going to blitz right through this, and we will be right back. Perfect. And that is all the cattails we have. And we actually are able to make 2 additional reed chests, which is really terrific. So why don't we head back to base, dump all our stuff in these reed chests, and then, oh, yeah, we can call it there. And I figured out what we're going to do next time. Because we have a massive problem, and we need food. And I know one way we can solve our problem and get a little food in the background. So, if you just saw that, you kind of blitzed right by it, but the wolf is moving right by our house. And so I think that gives us a great thing to do next time. Next time in this Let's Play Vintage Story, we are going to gear up with some spears, and we're going to look at combating a wolf, taking back this land. Once we've done that, I think we will probably begin work and preparations on a house. I've yet to decide if we are going to turn this into a house, or if we are going to cannibalize it and use it as parts for a house. But whatever we end up doing, it will take us a few episodes, I'm sure, to get up and running. But in the meantime, we will hunt that wolf and begin those preparations. So thank you very much for watching me this episode as we collected a ton of cattails, did some of our first time lapses, and we also completed our first pieces of pottery with pit kilns. This was a great episode of preparations and getting things ready. We've cleared away a lot of our foundational work. The only thing we have left at this point is food and shelter. So next episode, we will work on both of those. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow along, let me know if you have any thoughts, comments, or feedback, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.